What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Broc.
I'm Mike.
I'm Broc, and once again, we're joined by our recurring guest host, Mr. Jeff Manning, whoever that is.
Mr.
Happy to be
Big
here.
Time Jeff
Big
Manning.
Big,
time, Jeff
big time
Manning.
Jeff Manning.
I found it humorous when I watched that episode. I know we've talked before about the IWA, the Imaginary Wrestling Association.
hmm
It's a money pit. Don't ever play it, but
I
it's a
was
fun
hooked on it
game.
for a little while.
But yeah, I've sold there. But anyway, uh, the very first league I ever entered, my first friend in the game that I didn't know, it was just a guy who knows where he's from. His wrestler name was Big Time Malcolm Fine, and he was my first like teammate in the game.
There you
But
go.
all way back in like 1996.
That's around the same time I was playing. What league were you in?
The American Way League in the Iron
Uh,
Federation.
I was in the Punk Rock League. I forget what federation that was, though.
I can find out for you. I've got IWA historians. I do. I know
My
them.
my characters were Badger. I didn't know that there was a Badger in the GWF at the time. And Big Leroy the Ogre.
Big Leroy the Ogre.
If I'm correct, Big Leroy the Ogre is a character in Brock's Fed.
He did cross over.
Yeah.
My first ever wrestler in the IWA was White Lightning. That was his name.
Nice.
And it was just I don't know why. That was just his name.
What my strategy was, I just cut promos on everybody and those things you could send in. So I got everyone was like would pay for matches with me.
They call that trash talk.
Yeah, cut promos.
That's what it is. Trash talk. It's the trash talk session.
Nice. It was fun. It was a good time.
I've won a ton in that game over the years, but it is a money pit. I
It
don't
is.
recommend it.
It is. I had a good time with it.
I have to. Anyway, that's my big time moment.
We are talking tonight about Pharaoh Khetty.
Khetty,
Khetty?
Khetty, maybe.
Khetty. And an upgraded Thunder.
See, and Thunder really wasn't a wrestler before this, though.
No, he was the bodyguard.
Bodyguard. He was the Kevin Costner.
So he's the wrestling card for Thunder, even though he always had stats.
He was the Virgil.
Yeah. The valet.
Hey, Virgil was a bodyguard.
Soul Train Jones.
I like Curly Bill best.
All right, are we doing Khetty first then?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll do Pharaoh Khetty first.
Can I
Okay.
make an admission here on the show?
Oh, sure. Why not? We like that.
I have absolutely no memory of this character. I don't even remember it existing.
I
don't
had a
remember.
lot.
I don't remember seeing this art. I don't
He
remember this
said-
card.
He wasn't even lost in the shuffle. He
No,
was just lost.
I've had the card the whole time. Like I didn't buy it recently or anything.
Brock's
What's
first
the
time seeing
copyright
the
on that
card.
card?
This is really neat. This Pharaoh Khetty guy,
What's the copyright on that?
1993.
There you go. He was originally on the Brotherhood team, manager of the Overlord. He was in a tag team, which this is a cool tag team name, although I wouldn't use it. But Hoods of Death with Bishop Hell. His main feud was Dragon Master. Finisher, Pharaoh Khetty drapes his opponent's neck and head on the top rope and then delivers a big elbow to the noggin. Finisher is called the Curse of Khetty and often results in a pin victory. Here's his background. This is what I was talking about we were recording. Sorry for those of you that don't get the
Who aren't here in the room.
don't get the outtakes. The background: Pharaoh Khetty refuses to reveal his name or place of birth. That's the very opening line of it. He claims to be a channeler who communicates with his spiritual guide. Further, Khetty believes that his spirit guide is a pharaoh. He won't say from which star system, who was brutally murdered. Khetty claims that he has come to the GWF because the search for the soul of his killer has revealed that the murderer is an active GWF wrestler.
Ooh.
With help from the Overlord and Mesmer, Pharaoh Khetty has identified Dragon Master as the man descended from his murderer. And Khetty has one thing on his mind: revenge.
Ooh.
Khetty while an able fighter, has little wrestling experience. His initiation into the hallowed ranks of GWF wrestlers will no doubt be rocky at first. Khetty feels that the Titans have conspired to hide the truth of Dragon Master's sins from the galaxy. Does the Overlord really believe Khetty's claims, or is he using him? So, I mean, we talked about he's not really a pharaoh. He's saying he's channeling a pharaoh,
Yes.
and his origin is not revealed. But I will say in my Fed, I used him in like that Egyptian way that he would have the god of fire talk to him and say he needs to have an inferno match and stuff like that. That's the way I used him. I made a lot of special matches with him talking to the Egyptian gods, and I learned a lot about Egyptian mythology doing that. I found it very useful, very interesting. He actually did hold a title for me just for a month, but he did win an interplanetary title for me. Won it over Holocaust. I was hoping to feed somebody to Holocaust because I always had trouble getting Holocaust the title, and he finally won it. Held it for a month and dropped it to Pharoah Khetty, who in turn dropped it to Mandrill. So that's where I'm at. And my Fed Mandrill is actually the current interplanetary champion. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we know Broc didn't use this guy. So
He wasn't even lost in the shuffle. Poor Pharoah Khetty. He was just lost.
it was funny because Tim Dalton called me up because he'd order the sets. I would always buy my sets at Galacticon every year. So he called me up and was like, "Tom named a character after you." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's Pharoah Khetty." He goes, "They just spell your last name differently." Because as most people know, I had two last names, Khetty and Delve. I'm like, "What?" I didn't believe it for 1 second, but yeah, it's a funny thing. I used him as an Egyptian, and I teamed him up with Draconian Sheik.
You didn't have him in the Hoods of Death
No,
with Bishop Hell, which seemed like they were going away that I don't want to go. Could
so
add Skinhead to that group and make it very interesting.
yeah, it's a Draconian Sheik and Pharoah Khetty, and I called them Desert Storm.
Oh
There you
gosh.
And but he held a title for me. He held my Galaxian title once, which is my low level title.
How dare you?
And he feuded Wildcat and Vanity. He drew against both of them. So he was able to, like, Wildcat should have killed him, but he just managed to, get in a few of those wins.
Makes you wonder, like a guy like this, his story is revenge, right? He's there for Dragon Man. Why would he even bother with anybody else besides honing his skills? Like if his ultimate goal is Dragon Master, and that's it. I mean, I feel like there's not really any other purpose for him to be there.
He was being misled by the Oracle or whatever his name was.
Overlord.
Or Overlord.
The occult Overlord. We've already
The-
talked about him.
The occult Overlord.
Yeah.
Not the Royal Overlord.
No,
Yeah,
he had
same
become
guy.
a member of the occult.
Yeah, I didn't follow that storyline, so he probably never even faced Dragon Master.
Dragon Master had nothing to do with it.
I honestly forgot about him going after Dragon Master.
Yeah.
Like that's because he's around for years. Like so, I don't know. I like the character. I like it more than the story. I'm not saying I dislike the story. I just feel like it's an open and shut case. If he's there just to face Dragon Master, there's no reason for him to face anybody else except for if he's honing his skills to build up to facing Dragon Master.
Yeah. Because he doesn't get updated for 5 years.
Yeah. And then he changes his name.
Mm-hmm.
So he's no longer channeling the Pharaoh anyway. But I did like the character. I thought he was fun to write for, and I did learn a lot about Egyptian stuff because I don't know a lot. I mean, outside of like the Ra or somebody like that, it made me look up other Egyptian gods and the ways to use them when I could have theme matches using him. I remember distinctly the Inferno match where he had, and I don't remember the god's name at this point, but he had to summon the Egyptian god of fire. It was like, oh, he's calling for me to have an Inferno match. This is the only way we can settle it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. He didn't become talisman until after 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it meant he would have beat Jack of Diamonds, Rafiki, and Manu.
Who was Rafiki besides the monkey from Lion King?
He's from one of the blue sets.
Rafiki?
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody named Rafiki.
Yeah, he was in there.
Sets. Which set was that?
One of the birthday sets.
Did he have like long
No,
dreadlock
no.
type of
did.
hair?
Yeah. One of the
Dimension X
thread-
classics.
I feel like I'm picturing him.
He's
Yeah.
Dimension X.
I never used Dimension X. That's the one that had Man of Power
Yeah.
and the Matador, right? But he was just the Matador.
Yeah. I like the character, so I brought him in.
I have those cards, but I don't think I ever used them for anything. I vaguely remember the picture you're talking about. I couldn't remember his name was Rafiki though. That just makes me
Tim.
think of the monkey.
I brought him in as a tag
Banana, squash banana.
I brought him in as a tag partner also for Manu, which was one of the NGO guys. I made a whole, because I wanted some Islanders, I wanted some Samoans, so I got Khetty, Manu, Rafiki, and all those guys.
I'm trying to remember who Khetty had that match, the Inferno match with. I don't remember. I don't have cool little
You need
index
note cards.
cards. I know.
What? How do you not have index cards, guys? After all this time,
I just don't track as much. I definitely don't track injuries.
You should.
He's injured 10 people.
Now I'm curious who's injured the most for you because it sounded like Enigma had a lot when we discussed him last week.
Believe it or not, I think it might be. Let me look it up. I think it might be the mutant.
That's not that unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Mutant, he's one of those guys that had some crazy success for me at times, beating guys like Wolf pretty consistently.
Mutant, 55 people injured. 55 cards.
How many of those are the Creeper?
And he only suffered 3 injuries.
He's durable.
Yeah, Mutant's a little violent fella.
I think you said the same thing last time about Enigma. I assume Mutant's bigger than Enigma, though.
Yeah.
But like I said, so that means he would have held two titles. My Milky Way title, which the Galaxian title became the Milky Way title, and I dropped it down to the 3rd tier. Because that's where all my my 1 and 2 point guys are.
Because you have relegation, right?
Yep. So he's actually captured 2 singles titles. It's basically the same title, it just took a name change.
Yeah. His card is not very tough looking at it here.
It's not, but he gets a win here and there, and I don't get it.
Yeah, like he's got C in both ring and death jump.
+1 finisher.
A +1 finisher, a level 2 move on that one slot on level 3. Only 1 level 3 move on level 2.
Yeah. His power and agility aren't great. So -1.
Both plus.
Oh, both pluses. Okay.
+2, +1.
Yeah, he's only a 9 on raw ratings.
Yeah, he's not very good.
He's a single digit guy. But he won my interplanetary title, which is my secondary title over Holocaust in my Regal Rumble in 2101. He was on the undercard and won it. He had 2 tokens. Holocaust had 3.
The dice
Somehow he
decide.
got it. I'm guessing at some point there was probably a missed shockwave in there.
He's the Barry Horowitz or Brooklyn Brawler. He's the upper
get that
echelon jobber that could surprise somebody.
Yeah, but those guys lost forever.
Yeah.
Well, now you've made me just curious. I don't remember who I had him had that Inferno match with, and that's gonna drive me crazy till I find it out. But it definitely happened.
I remember I got him coming in at a solid 5'10" and 190 pounds. Just
You got the height correct. He's 242 pounds on the official listing.
No. Nope. Not for that strength.
He even looks kind of frail in the drawing.
Yeah.
He's definitely a skinnier guy than most of our wrestlers in the GWF at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How would you?
I overall like the character though.
Oh yeah, I do too. That's why I said I'd still use him, and he got pushes.
Oh, there it is. I found it. Hold on, just so I'm not going crazy. He channeled the goddess of fire, Sekhmet.
Ooh.
It's Sekhmet, Sekhmet. And he was facing Viper in an Inferno match in your house. Good friends, better enemies. That was my big show that month in May of 2101.
Nice.
He did lose though. He claimed the gods had failed him.
Okay.
It's literally in my notes. After the match, Khetty was visibly upset. What will he say to the gods that have failed him? That was a storyline I was running with. At least he wasn't lost in my shuffle, all right?
Yeah. Or just lost.
He turned around the next month and lost in a triple threat elimination match to Colossus.
He didn't even
I like
exist.
those triple threat. You have a lot of those triple threat matches.
I mix them in quite a bit. I like them for the lower card to make the guys stand out a little bit, get a little extra push, so they can go towards the title, like on Interplanetary.
I notice when I see your postings.
I base a lot of my current Fed, the 2101, on the Attitude Era, so that's why you see a lot of themed matches. I read a lot of the 1997, 98, 99 type of stuff, and just for this era, I'm going to eventually progress out of that. But I decided this era in GWF was that era.
Makes sense.
How would you guys get around to power creeping the Pharaoh, Khetty?
I'm getting rid of that level 3 hold number 1 being a level 2 move. I don't like that.
I'm gonna make the number 5 move on offense a down.
I'm gonna make his ring a B.
We got to speak Mike language here. So he's talking about level 2, move
Yeah.
number 5.
Yep.
Okay. It's not. It's a power 3 move, so it's going to be down for the opponent. We got to speak this. I didn't realize that was confusion until I watched a recent episode I was not on.
Yep, that's our boy Pharaoh Khetty.
I like him. I'm disappointed Broc didn't use him because I think he has a
No.
lot of uses in the Fed.
Sorry.
He does. He's an upper echelon jobber.
Yeah, I mean he is. He's only a
We'll get
9.
the surprise wins.
I mean he's a solid 43 points above Pollux on the raw rating.
That is true. Up next, we've got Thunder, his official wrestling debut.
Thunder.
He had stats before, but he was pretty much the bodyguard.
And he goes from shaved head to that look at that flow.
It's beautiful.
I don't know if I used him at all as a bodyguard, though. I mean, I used him as a bodyguard. I don't know if I let him wrestle a match while he was a bodyguard at all.
I don't think I did.
He might have been
think
like a Survivor Series or something.
No, actually, I think I did. He would go to the match, and none of the other gladiators would ever be there. They just feed him to the wolves, basically,
That's just cruel.
toughen him up. That was their whole thing, just toughen him up. And I always put him again. You know, he never got a match. He'd never get a match against somebody like Pharaoh Khetty. It'd always be somebody like, Hercules or Alpha Force or all these tough guys.
We didn't have Hercules. We had Heracles.
But Thunder, surprisingly, he's never hurt anybody. Very ungladiator-esque.
I mean, Thunder's the first one we saw like be introduced as not an official wrestler, right? Was Mayhem ever a bodyguard?
No. Mayhem
So
came in as the top dog.
All the guys came in as ready to fight except for him up until this point that were Aethrin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was rare. That first year though that he was an official wrestler, he teamed with Killing Machine though, right? Deadly Challenge. Is that right?
I did not know that was a thing. So
I
I will
believe
take
it
your word
was.
for it.
Oh, I guess I got to read the bio. Hold on. That's what I'm here for, right? I'm the official guy, like the historian here. Let's get Thunder brought up. I know you guys love hearing me talk.
We do. We like to hear you read.
Team Gladiator Vanguard team, which I actually called the when Overkill gets introduced. Spoiler alert. Next set. I called them Vanguard at first just to differentiate the teams. Once the other Gladiators retired, I changed it to just Overkill and Thunder. Manager none. Informal leader is Vengeance. Tag team Deadly Challenge with Killing Machine. Yeah, so that first year he was teaming with Killing Machine as Deadly Challenge. Main feud, everyone on the Gladiator Legends team. Finisher. Thunder's finisher is like the violent rumblings of a deadly storm that his name suggests. It is called the Thunderclap and is like being hit by lightning. Thunder climbs the turnbuckle, bends his knees, and grabs the ropes for leverage. Then he propels himself like a thunderbolt from the sky onto his unsuspecting opponent. Background: Thunder entered the GWF in 2095 as a mere bodyguard for the Gladiators. He was obedient and knew enough to keep his mouth shut around Brute Massacre, Spike, and Mayhem. Things are different now. Thunder received his first cleansing in 2098 and now has all the rights and powers granted to a full-fledged gladiator of Aethra, and he's flaunting it. Thunder has every intention of lasting a long time in the GWF, and he's not going to let Brute Massacre or Spike stop him. What's the weather report from the Gladiator Legends in 2099? Thunder and plenty of storms ahead.
I love it.
So I think that the main takeaway here for me, like, he was originally the bodyguard because of what was the character with no mouth that could bite people?
Guardsman.
Guardsman was turned, right?
Fury.
So that's when Thunder was brought in. Guardsman turned into Fury.
Yep.
Thunder was brought in as the protector, which makes zero sense to me if you're a bodyguard and you're less powerful than the people you're protecting, but it seems to be a common theme in wrestling circles at times. I don't know.
Except for Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, except for he had a very successful bodyguard, Vinny Vegas. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. No, I think that Thunder was a little underwhelming. The fact that he was around for several years before he got his cleansing made him a little underwhelming for me. This is a giant upgrade. Before he was a 4 on the Raw rating.
Yeah.
This bumped him up to a 39.
Little bump.
Little
Just
bump.
a bit.
35-point bump. Enigma actually had a higher bump of 37 points with the same set. And Ursa Major went up 61 points. He became a 25. Tells you how bad he was as a jobber. But no, him being immediately thrown into a tag team and a feud with the legendary Gladiators, Brute and Massacre. I think Brute and Massacre got the better end of that for me. It wasn't until Overkill came in that it was a viable competition. I will say once Overkill comes in, and I'm still playing this era, so I'm sure I'll have a lot more history from them, but their initial title reign became I think the 4th longest tag title reign I had ever had, or 3rd longest. Yeah, 3rd longest. Only the Game Masters from 2083 to 2085 and the Animal Pack from 2093 to 2095 had longer title reigns than the Overkill Thunder title reign. It went from March of 2100 until June of 2101. So 469 days. 3rd longest title reign at that point in my Fed's history.
Yeah, he's a 3-time GWF tag champion with me. All with Overkill. And he just lost they just lost the GWF tag titles to Genocide and Max Shield. So which is a solid tag team. You really can't, So they lost to them, but yeah. And they're definitely, and I know they even get a little better when Thunder gets his upgrade once again.
It was just a hard time period for me because I know they were having the Civil War, and they got owned.
Oh yeah.
I mean, to me, Spike, Brute, and Massacre owned it. Spike stepped back up and was like my wrestler of the year, like in 2100 before he retired. So it was kind of odd that they lost the Civil War to me and got to stay. It was. I mean, let's just be honest. Spike won, I believe, the Regal Rumble and my Ring Warrior tournament that year, which are my 2 big events. And he was Wrestler of the Year. He had the title. And I know I'm going on a rant here about somebody else and our character spotlight, but I feel like it's relevant to the storyline. I just think that it didn't make any sense that the Legends retired for me.
Yeah. I think it's the same for a lot of people. Like I had Massacre and Thunder fought. And Massacre beat him. and Vengeance and Brute, because Thunder and Vengeance were a tag team to go against Brute and Massacre, and they got crushed. And Spike went against Mayhem, and Mayhem lost to Spike, so that they all lost.
Yeah.
But I was like, uh, for me, my story arc on how it was they beat him, and then they left kind of try to humiliate the gladiators. Hey, you're kicking us out. Not that they left, but they got forced out.
Mm.
Yeah, it was just
So
odd.
it left with some animosity.
Yeah, it definitely did. Spike had my second longest interplanetary title run and was forced to give it up because of having to leave in January of 2101. And he captured my Galaxian title that year, which is my big title. Was Wrestler of the Year, Regal Rumble winner, Ring Warrior winner. Like, it's crazy. Like that was the moment that he lost to get kicked out of the GWF. I feel like Thakor, the way I presented it was Thakor had already made a decision.
Yeah.
It was like they went off on their pedestals, but he still called them home.
Yeah,
It was just time.
He hasn't done that well for me.
So Thunder.
Yeah, like he lost a Massacre, and then he beat Lance Atlas, and he also won in a tag. So Lance Atlas was teaming up with Archon, and then he ended up flipping. So and then he drew against Archon, lost to Archon, and then went against Jack of Diamonds and drew against him. So they win the titles, they hold them, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that Overkill and him just form a great tag team.
That's because Overkill's super powerful, and Thunder's one of the more quick gladiators.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of tags and names to back it up.
Tags and names, reversals. I like that you call them names. He's got a lot of names.
So they work together quite well. And I know he gets his big push for his singles push coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
What year does his singles push come? I'm wondering. I'm just gonna look real quick. Unless Broc's already got it up.
2104.
2104, he becomes a 50 on the Raw rating, which is an 11-point increase.
Yeah.
Which at that point, his competition is going to be Genocide at times, Pegasus. Those are the big guys, right? Colossus still around, probably.
Yeah, his I don't want to. I'm trying to stick to this card right now.
Yeah.
Just on showing what he's done.
Yeah, he's a strictly tag guy for me then. But he's successful.
Yeah.
But it's more so he's being carried by Overkill than the other way around. And people don't fear the thunderclap quite as much as they probably should.
No. But like I said, he's a -2 agility, -1 power, or something like that.
Yep. -2 power, -1 agility.
Okay, yeah, and a +2 finish.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's a solid. I think he's a little above average.
Yeah, he's definitely good.
He's a 3-point wrestler for me because I rank my wrestlers 1 through 5. So he's a 3, which means he can upset people, but he can also get upset more often than not. He can go either way. He's not going to dominate.
Thunderclap.
Thunder. We really missed an AC/DC sponsorship there.
I think I have him coming out to that song.
Makes sense.
You should. Everyone should.
They should.
If you're not, you're wrong.
Or you're you're really young.
That's only if you don't use the choice chart.
Yeah.
That's a different
people who don't use the choice charts also don't use ring entrance music.
You could argue that kids these days that are picking up the game for the first time, and I'm sure there's tons of them that love card and dice games, they could be using Imagine Dragons Thunder.
There you go.
It's a little bit lighter, though.
Okay, yeah, I had to think about that. Yeah.
Thunder, and the thunder, lightning and the thunder.
Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
can't see that with
You're welcome. I'm here for you.
Can't see him coming down to that though.
No.
You could. We can make it happen. There's enough AI out there these days. Someone's got to fire pro wrestling with all these guys on there.
Definitely. He'd be an easy one to make.
Yeah.
He's got his Mario Kart turtle shell.
It's Bowser.
Yeah, it is.
How would you upgrade this Thunder without knowing that how he gets upgraded in another few sets?
I want him to be more powerful. He's an Aetherin. I don't think he should be a -2 power. There's too many guys that can reverse his moves on a power move. I want him to be at least a -3, preferably a -4, but
I'm going to go with the obvious. That number 1 slot on level 3 offense, make that a level 3 move. Move the death jumping out of the ring up, and
we could really create a chart with these power creeps because it's usually the same things.
It is. It is. It's the obvious one.
I'm going to bump his finisher to a +3.
Yeah, +2 is not that strong these days.
No, this is where we're starting to get some tougher guys.
+3 could help him in the odd singles match.
Yeah.
Or if Overkill gets the crap kicked out of him, he might have to stay in.
he was the 3rd strongest singles competitor in this set. I mean, it's released in this set. They have the Colossus SE at 50 and the Alpha Force downgrade at 40. He would be a 39.
Yeah.
But I didn't use him in singles, so
he's definitely a solid character.
Yeah, I use him probably 90% of his matches are tag. Every so often I throw him into a singles match.
It just seems like they were trying things. Like he's a preview to guys like Havoc in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like I said, he's a decent wrestler. I know he gets better, but for the most part, him and Overkill are a top-notch tag team. I think they're a +4 tag team for me. So I've never had a level 5 tag team, so they're a +4. And at this point in time, I only had 2 +4s of the Mercenaries and Thunder and Overkill. So
he's a 49 on tag, and when Overkill comes in, he's a 60 on tag.
Wow.
So I would definitely say they're a 5 overall together for tag.
Yeah, they're good.
I think Overkill at that point, when he gets debuted next year, is the highest we've seen out of a tag guy.
Well, that's not 2 spoilers yet.
Sorry.
Well,
20 years past due.
That's tied to this card, so.
Oh, I guess Massacre was a 60 in 2090 for tag only.
It's pretty good.
So Overkill was the best since then. Which, that's not bad. It's not bad company to be in.
No.
Our Mount Rushmore is another Jeff topic, and he wanted to know everyone's favorite cookies.
Well, you got to explain the theme. When we had originally discussed Mount Rushmore topics, I said, well, we're baking Christmas cookies around here at the time, and that's the only thing on my mind was the cookies. I went first last time. I'll let one of you guys go first.
Well, okay. Since I went last, I'll go first this time.
Broc's always gonna be the middleman, lost in the shuffle.
It's all right.
My top 4 favorite, chocolate chip, hands down.
Okay, that would be on my list as well.
It would be on my list as well. He's the Barry Sanders. He's the Barry Sanders of cookies.
Yeah, if I crack a bag, I'm eating that bag.
With your Chips Ahoy, do you prefer the chewy or the regular Chips Ahoy?
I prefer President's Choice Decadent.
Well, there you go.
Whoa.
And if you're from Canada, you will know what that is.
While you're wearing your toque.
I might bring some down for you guys to try on at Jamestown.
All right.
Decadent chocolate chip.
We're gonna hold you to that.
Yeah.
Probably.
Number 2 are maple sugar cookies.
Those are good.
It's another thing that's mostly Canadian. You guys might get a few down there.
Yeah.
Another one, my wife makes them a lot. Chocolate chili cookies.
Chocolate chili?
Yep. So
What's
they're
that?
chocolate cookies, and they have chili flakes inside them.
I'm not familiar with that
I'd
at
eat
all.
it.
Oh,
I've never had it, but I'd eat it.
I'd try it, but it seems a little iffy to me.
and then my last one would be from Girl Guides, those damn mint cookies that they make.
The Thin Mints?
Yeah, those things are good. I've literally eaten a box and not realized it.
Yeah. I debated that being on my list because that's one of my favorites too. Although I think I've been a little burned out on them because I've had so many of them over the years.
I like tag-alongs as my Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah, I like a lot of them. Thin Mints and
Yeah.
Do-si-dos are probably my top 2, though. Do-si-dos are the peanut butter ones, which I'm not a
Those
big
are
peanut
good.
butter cookie one, but those are good.
My honorable mention would be Whippets.
Isn't that something you do from a can?
Probably another Canadian thing.
Probably.
It's a cookie with a marshmallow topping in chocolate with a like a strawberry filling in the middle.
Okay, so he's gonna bring down a plethora of cookies for Galacticon on the show. I'm gonna have to make the trip like it's a cookie run. I don't even view it as a Galacticon run at this point.
I can see you guys
cookie
don't know
time.
Whippets either.
So in our in-between, we're cheap and refuse to buy Zoom.
Yeah.
So Mike confirmed that a Whippet is nothing more than a moon pie.
And I say it's not a moon pie. It's a little cookie with marshmallow dipped in chocolate.
Which is what a moon pie is.
A moon pie.
There's a cookie lid on the
There's
moon pie.
literally a moon pie.
There's a cookie lid.
It's made with real sugar. There's a cookie lid.
In Canada, we call that a wagon wheel.
Old Crow Medicine Show.
Wagon wheels.
Rock me,
Moon
mama,
pie.
like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, like a moon pie. I don't know what that means.
Nope, that's a wagon wheel.
It's a moon pie. You can
Not even a
personalize. You can personalize your own moon pie box, by the way.
You can?
Yeah, I'm on their website right now because I was looking.
How much does that cost?
I don't customize my moon pie.
I'll just buy mine at the Dollar Tree.
You don't want to customize it for Valentine's Day or Father's Day, or
Nah,
you could put NDW on there. Have customized moon pie box.
I could. You know what I'm going to put on the box? Wagon wheels.
Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius Rucker. He covered it.
A wagon wheel. I'm telling you.
Take your toque and get out of here. Okay. Anyway, moon pie.
What are your guys' top 5?
It's
top,
Broc's
top
turn.
4 and honorable
right.
mention.
I'll go with Snickerdoodles.
All right.
Snickerdoodles are good. I already said chocolate chip when Mike brought that up. I like oatmeal cream pies, Little Debbie.
Does that count as a cookie?
If he's gonna do Whippets,
That's not a cookie.
It's a cookie.
Oatmeal
Moon
cream
pie is listed
pie.
as an American snack food.
what about oatmeal cream pie is a cookie then?
I don't think it's a cookie.
Fine, I'll take it off the list.
No, I'm just here to regulate you guys. You guys,
What-
2 episodes in a row trying to put in something that doesn't fit the category.
What is a cookie called with the Hershey Kiss on top of it?
Oh, we just had some of those.
What's the official name of that?
That's gonna drive me crazy.
But I'll put it on the list.
Hold on, I'm gonna find out the name. I've got it brought up. Oh, it's just Hershey Kiss cookies. My wife calls them something. I don't.
I think they have a name.
They're like
It's-
blossoms or something, right? Like
Maybe. I've also seen them with peanut butter cups.
they do make them with they call them peanut butter blossoms.
Okay,
If they're made with that. They're chocolate blossom cookies.
I like those. Put those on the list.
I hate those, by the way.
My sister makes these things. It's with like the square pretzel and has like a layer of peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
and then another pretzel, and then it's
Mhm.
dipped in chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on the list.
I'm following you.
And then I'll put tag along since we did Girl Scout cookies as my honorable mention.
I'm done with you guys tonight. I can't take you guys serious.
I don't even know what a tag along is, so
It's basically it's like a shortbread cookie inside chocolate, wrapped in chocolate, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Something like that. They're the red box for all you Girl Scout cookie aficionados.
Well, they have the peanut butter.
Yeah, they have peanut butter in there.
They're good. They're like a Twix with peanut butter, almost.
Crispy cookies layered with peanut butter and covered with a chocolatey coating.
I would compare it to a peanut butter Twix in the candy bar world.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's my turn, right?
Yep. Do you have
Um,
wagon wheels on your list?
I don't even have the song wagon wheel on my list. No, I was gonna say chocolate chip cookies to start. I wasn't gonna go out of the bag though. If you say anything that's not homemade for chocolate chip, that's gross. I mean, I could do some
Chewy Chips Ahoy.
I can do Chewy Chips Ahoy. I can
Do you
even
ever
do
put them in the microwave?
Do you remember Soft Batch?
Yes.
Soft Batch cookies,
Those
they
were
were
good
good.
too.
But no, I'm gonna say that chocolate chip is the staple of the cookie community. It's got to be on the
When
list.
you think of cookie, you think of a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, I prefer homemade, obviously, but
Yeah, me too.
it's fine to have Toll House homemade type stuff. But next would probably the second most frequent cookie I eat is the oatmeal raisin cookie, and usually I love Subway oatmeal raisin cookies.
Solid.
Sometimes I'll get an oatmeal raisin cookie and a chocolate chip cookie from Subway, and I'm like, the oatmeal raisin is the snack, like my side item instead of chips, and the chocolate chip cookie is the dessert.
Well, there's probably more sugar in the bun for your sandwich than the cookie. So
Anyway, thanks for ruining my diet, but
Just saying.
it's a 3-course meal. Anyway, then I'm gonna go. I did want to bring in something that was like store bought, that just to include it. So I want to go EL fudge.
Okay.
I love the EL fudges. They're like shortbread cookies with chocolate in the middle, and they're freaking delicious.
hmm
And then I was gonna say Thin Mints, since I was gonna go Girl Scouts on the fourth. I just eat a ton of those. When we buy them, they go in the freezer, and then you pull them out of the freezer, and I'll probably eat like a whole box in one sitting. I usually try
That's
to do
fair.
one wrap and then the second wrap, so a box will last me 2 days.
That's fair.
But there's lots of honorable mentions though. One of the things that came up that I always like to bring up when I talk cookies, because a lot of people don't remember them, but they were my favorites back in the day, were mini middles. They're Keebler, and they were small cookies that came in a box, and they had chocolate inside of them, and they were delicious.
Oh, I remember these.
Especially the red box.
They're like those
Keebler
panda cookies.
mini middle. No, you're not. No,
Yeah,
they're
that's
not like the panda ones. I've
Yes,
had the panda ones.
they're just like them.
They do not taste the same. No, but the red box, the shortbread ones that had the chocolate inside them, those were
Yeah.
delicious. I would just
I
go to
remember
town on those. I remember fourth grade, I was in a problem solving group called Future Problem Solvers of America. It was an after school program, and the teacher, whenever we'd come up with a good idea, would give us a box of mini middles to take with us. And
So-
my goal was to always come up with good ideas so I could have my mini middles.
There's no motivator like food.
There isn't. We use
I'm
cheese
having a
balls to learn
tough time figuring out
multiplication.
why Americans have type 2 diabetes.
Hey, that's not what we're talking about on the Mount Rushmore, all right? It's a fat Mount Rushmore. Leave us alone. Well, maybe we'd weigh less if we measured it in your system.
Yeah, I'm way less kilos than pounds.
I'm a lot less stones than I
I'm about half as many kilos as I am pounds.
As it should be.
I'm waiting for the GWF Canadian version to come out where all the wrestlers are in kilos.
That's what I should do. That's what I should do with my card. Mark,
I-
give myself put it in kilos.
I want hands and stones though. That's not Canadian though, but it's just funny. Yeah, Canadians, English, whatever. I don't care. So there you have it. What do you got there?
Oh, sure.
I think he's talking, but I can't hear him.
No?
Still can't hear him. You're not registering, Brock. You're on mute
What?
or something. There he goes. Oh, I
Okay.
heard that. Wow. Thanks for
Word
chiming in.
teasers Canada version.
Yeah,
Oh,
Canada.
Canada.
Do you know I have random trivia cards that I read on stream? I now have an all Canadian theme one.
Wow.
Give me one to see if I know it.
All right, I'll pick one out of the middle of the deck here.
I think better yet, I should see if I know it, and then you can
Okay.
see if
Oh,
you
this
know
is
it.
this is the worst one ever. This was totally random. Chad Kroger is the front man for A, Nickelback, B, Bare Naked Ladies, or C, the Guess Who.
It's got to be the worst awful band of all time, Nickelback.
Have you guys heard the term butt rock?
No,
I just heard it for the first time this week.
I don't know if I'm supposed to look that up. I don't even want to Google
Look
search
at it's
that.
butt rock. It's like that's what they
Uh,
classify stuff like Nickelback and Creed.
I don't want to Google that.
Yeah, I don't want to Google that at all.
I did.
I'm
and
gonna
it
trust
worked.
you.
But it came from like the channels that are nothing but rock. So now
Give us another one.
I put it away already. Hold on.
It's right in front of you.
Oh, Canada.
It's gone too far.
In Quebec, a gang of thieves sold $18 million worth of A, maple syrup, B, jewelry, or C, gold.
What was the first part? What was the name?
In Quebec, a gang of thieves stole
In
18
Quebec. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a name you said at first. Like you just went from Nickelback to Inkleback. And I'm like, what is Inkleback? In
Nickelback
Quebec.
is the French version of
Quebec.
Nickelback.
Ah, you Nordiques.
Does anybody know?
Oh yeah, it's maple syrup.
Yeah, here's the story. Beginning in 2011, the thieves siphoned over 9,500 barrels of maple syrup from the maple syrup producer's warehouse and sold it in small batches. 5 of the perpetrators were arrested and convicted.
How much is a dime bag of maple syrup?
About 25 cents.
I gotta say, siphoning maple syrup tastes a lot better than siphoning gas, I would imagine.
If you go to a Costco in Canada, you can buy maple syrup by the 50-gallon drum.
Why? Won't it go bad eventually?
It never goes bad.
No, it does.
Oh, it does.
Funny story. Am I allowed to? Yeah, she'll never. My sister-in-law had some maple syrup in her pantry, and it had been in there a while. And one of her kids went to get it because it had been in there, and they made pancakes that day. And there was ants inside the syrup. They didn't realize it until they started eating.
Just protein.
Like, what is in this syrup? Oh, it's ants had
crunchy.
gotten in the syrup, and it had been in there a couple years, I think, in their pantry. That's why.
It
So
does
I'm
have
always-
a pretty long shelf life, though.
I'm always hesitant to eat my syrup now without looking for ants.
Yeah, we don't buy, actual syrup. It's always maple syrup. The
We
good stuff.
produce a lot of maple syrup here, too, in the greater Pittsburgh area.
There's no greater Pittsburgh area. It's just lesser Pittsburgh area. Sorry. My bias is showing through.
It's okay.
My prejudice against Pittsburgh.
You'll get a Super Bowl one day.
Ah, shush. We're not even talking about that. And this is why I don't show up to certain episodes. That's what did it right there.
Sorry. I had to. You shot the first shot.
I just spoke truth. You're just being harsh.
Reach.
Good times.
Okay, you
I
want
think
to
I
run
think
our
I
sponsors?
predicted
Oh.
at the beginning of this football season that the Browns are my dark horse Super Bowl pick, and it's looking more and more likely.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to count any chickens before they hatch here.
They don't look bad.
They don't. The defense looks stout.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they're on tonight. They might be losing because Amari Cooper was out too. I have not checked the score because I'm just so engulfed with you guys. Nope, they're up 37-20
See, Super Bowl.
over the Jets.
One for the ring finger.
Yep.
All right.
They're
Well,
having a good year.
they are, and they had a lot of loss too. Chubb and
Oh yeah, Chubb was a big loss. We've lost our massage-loving quarterback.
Yep, we won't talk about him.
All right, let's get to the sponsors before we lose
All
people
right.
because they were talking about Cleveland Browns.
We'll edit this part out. Let's be
Except for the part about Pittsburgh.
the Sam Looptack cut.
That's factual. We can leave that in. There is no greater Pittsburgh. It's only lesser Pittsburgh.
I live in the lesser Pittsburgh area.
I'd rather be in Puxatawny.
Yeah. All right, while you're here, scroll on down to the description where we have several links to our friends who make Filsinger Games related content, including the official Filsinger Games podcast Roll Up, the Filsinger Games Fancast from Grant, Uncharted Territory from Lee Longpre. He's Dizzy Dice. I'm sorry. Dizzy Dice from Lee Longpre.
Wait.
Uncharted Territory
wow.
from the Legends team. Here on YouTube, we have Solo Promoter, Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling, After Further Review, Brad Plays 81, and Bucky 749. I'm on Twitch. Check me out. I play Champions of the Galaxy Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll find all the social media links and stuff below, so check that out. And if you have not done so yet, hit that subscribe button. We've set a lofty goal for 2024 of 164 subscribers by the end of the year.
That was my call. I'm sorry for setting such high goals.
It's kind of out of reach, but we'll see what we can do.
We're gonna push.
Time. We have a whole year.
Lofty.
Whole year.
We're taking suggestions from Mount Rushmore ideas.
Yeah. That'll put butts in seats.
We got to get some of Grant's Solo Promoter 1,000 streamers over.
Yeah, he's got it going on. He's much more talented than us. Let's just be honest.
just a little.
He's good at promoting too.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see you next time, everybody. Have a great one.
Good night, everyone.
See you later.